Your balls will thank you. And so will I, because this video was brought to you by MANSCAPED. And it's not just your balls either. They've got the beard game down. Well, this bad boy, the handyman. Genuinely, look at that. That's craftsmanship. Looks like you could plug it in as a speaker, but no. You'll use it on your hair. I like to trim mine using this as well. I can use this on me head, me face, anywhere. Let your imagination run wild. How do you get this? Can't switch it off now. This is so awkward. You get the point. It's very good. You hear that? Just on the neck. Just to try it out for you. See? I'll take it, and that's why you should. And the politicians wouldn't do that a few years ago, would they? So you've seen it works, but let me tell you why. You can now say goodbye to your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The Beard Hedger has a cordless trimmer and has a rotary reel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. So no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. Plus, it's waterproof, so you can shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink. The titanium-coated T-blade is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. And you've also got the beard shampoo and conditioner. Because your beard hair is more coarse and easier to damage than the hair on your head, that's why this kit has made shampoo and conditioner specially designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, replace natural oils, and promote beard health. And we also have Manscaped Beard Oil to relieve dryness both on the beard and the skin beneath, while adding a little shimmer and shine. Cap off the kit with the Beard Balm. This shapes, styles, moisturizes, and tames for a sculpted look, and that's helped by the beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So if you love my content and you want to support it while having your beard game on point, go to manscaped.com and use my code TRUE at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. But for now, enjoy the video. KSI versus Tomm Fury has been confirmed, and this is the early preview. And you know what? We're in for a treat. We've got lucky with this one. This is going to be a great card. And I'll tell you who else has gotten lucky in life. Tomm Fury. This man might be the luckiest man in Britain. I mean, for a start, he's born into a family full of boxers who are going to then teach him how to box and give him that skill set to then make it work for himself later on. And those boxers aren't just any boxers. You got the heavyweight champion of the world as your brother. And if that isn't lucky enough to be related to all them who, let's be real, aren't the prettiest of the lot, and then he comes out looking like a male model. Unreal. He then goes onto a reality TV show, meets this chick who happens to understand social media and absolutely kills it. So just by being with her, he gets all of this success too. He's just along for the ride. If he was intelligent, I'd hate him. But luckily, we don't have to worry about him hacking into NASA anytime soon. And then, he's got two YouTubers who call him out for a boxing match, offer to pay him millions and millions of pounds when he's been boxing 5 times the length of time that they have, should beat them both. He's bigger than them both. He's younger than them. He's just got to do an 8-week training camp, turn them, cash a check. This man hit the lottery in life. Fair play, Tommy. Fair play, son. But is his luck about to run out because he's got to get through the nightmare? KSI is coming for that knockout, and I am doing a bit of work behind the scenes with Misfits to help them with this card, and it is going to be probably the best card we've ever seen in crossover boxing history. You've got Logan Paul and KSI as a double main event on this card. This will probably do more pay-per-view buys than the next Anthony Joshua fight with Dillian White. That's mental. So let me give you my early thoughts about this fight, right? I think Tomm Fury, to be fair to him, as much as I've said a lot, because you know I like to have a bit of crack, he is a decent boxer, right? And he showed that against Jake Paul. His jab was authoritative. He controlled that fight. And he is a handful for the lads of this level to deal with. He is the creme de la creme. And there is really no logical argument that can be made for why he should not beat KSI. You look at the competition they've faced. You look at the experience they've had. You look at the size of Tommy, who was complaining about cutting down to 183 pounds, which inevitably will hydrate back up to 200 pounds on fight night. Meanwhile, KSI regularly walks around at 174. And then when you look at the footage of his fights, it's just showing a lot more boxing skill because we've got so much more footage of him. Whereas KSI's gone in there, and yeah, he's wrecked dudes by knockout very quickly, but I just don't have the data to sit here and tell you that he will be comparable on a technical level with Tomm Fury. But I honestly don't think that's the plan anyway. I think this is very much the YouTuber version of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. If this goes to a decision, you already know who's winning. If it's a knockout, it may be KSI. That's not to say Tommy can't win by a knockout, but the point I'm making is the plan from KSI's team has got to be, we have got to catch him. And KSI truly 100% believes he will. And usually, I've watched KSI's life from a long time now. I've known him a long time. Usually when that's the case, he's right and everyone else is wrong. So this is what makes this fascinating, because he is so confident. He is either delusional or he is going to prove everyone wrong again and shock the world, especially Jake Paul, because he is going to be watching this on the edge of his seat. After he couldn't beat Tommy, if KSI pulls it off, wow. I actually don't know how many rounds this is going to be, but as someone who wants KSI to win, I don't really think it matters. Later in the fight, you would expect the most skilled guy to take over and control the fight. If KSI is going to win, it's got to be in the first few rounds anyway. So whether it's 6 to 10 rounds, I don't know. I don't think it matters. One of the disadvantages for KSI, other than all of the obvious ones, is now Tommy has big fight experience. You know, before it was undercards, way down on the undercard for his brother, etc. Now he has been there in the fire cooker moment with Jake Paul, had Jake Paul betting him all his purse and all of that, put the mind games to the test on Tommy, and fair play, Tommy did pass. And you've seen the relief at the end of that fight. He was relieved. And that will only help him coming into a fight against KSI. KSI didn't get him first. So you are going to get a better version of Tommy Fury than Jake Paul did. And that's something that they need to take into account. And it's like Mike Tyson says, often you can only fight for a decision or for a knockout. You really shouldn't do both, especially if you're KSI in this fight. I think they need to build a game plan tailor-made for the early knockout against Tommy Fury. And look, when I say Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, obviously not on that level, but at this level, influencer boxing level, it is a version of that. When you look at how Fury is the more skillful of the two, he has the jab, he is going to try and control the fight, and it's going to take for KSI to throw that one big leaping shot and to put everything behind it like he does and catch him. And you know, Tommy Fury now is an influencer boxer. You've had your chance to go down the road and fight a Vidal Riley. You've opted out of that. You're now solely fighting KSI, Jake Paul. You'll probably go back to Jake Paul if you beat KSI. You're an influencer boxer, mate. So enough of the whole, I'm a proper boxer and I'm destroying influencer boxing. No, you're in this now. You are this. If you weren't and you were trying to be a pro boxer and win world titles, you would have fighted Vidal Riley or someone on that level. Instead, you're fighting his student. Don't talk to me about you're a serious pro boxer. So I do believe KSI can win this fight, but it just needs to be planned right. We've seen Conor McGregor go in against Floyd Mayweather and have a terrible game plan and it be over within the first 3 rounds because Mayweather went in there and covered up, let him absorbed all of his power and then took control. You don't want to do that against Tommy Fury. You need to be trading with him. You need to let him go as well. Let him leave himself open. Don't show your hands early. There's a lot that they're going to have to think about to plan this perfectly. In terms of Logan Paul, he is fighting, rumoured to be Dylan Dennis. It may also be someone else like a Bradley Martin, he's currently having a bit of a thing with. I'm excited. I can't wait to see Logan back. He's been in the WE. He's caused a lot of a stir over there. But watching him fight Floyd Mayweather, we've seen he'd improved tremendously. And I don't think people give him the credit for how well he did in that fight. And we'll see just how good he's gotten against a regular guy who isn't one of the greatest boxers ever. I would be worried if Misfits do put their trust in Dylan Dennis because the guy has no shame. You know, fighters, there's a code. As Chris Eubank said, the warrior code. And he doesn't have it. This man literally was guaranteed one of the biggest paydays of his lifetime just to show up. And he was like, it's a YouTube boxer. He was like literally belittling KSI as if he was an easy fight. And then had the lack of shame to get his boxing coach to say, actually, he's not ready yet. Sorry. Enjoy your event. And then Misfits had to pick the pieces up. That guy is a real embarrassment to himself. And do you know what's more embarrassing about Dylan is he actually has a shred of talent and he could make maybe an okay MMA fighter. And instead he's talking and it's got him into this position where he's even mentioned in the same breath as KSI and Logan Paul. The fact that we have let him even into this conversation, he should be so grateful. If they give him this fight and he doesn't show up, man, if the first one wasn't embarrassing enough, this should be the absolute end of his career, the end of anyone acknowledging his existence, really. You have some shame. I personally wouldn't put my trust in him, but I understand Logan Paul needs someone with name value. there's not many options out there who are going to bring anything to the table. And Dylan, for whatever reason, has a little bit of something because he was in a few videos with Conor. And the alternative to Dylan is somebody like a Bradley Martin, who he's having a bit of a back and forth with Logan. And Bradley isn't a pro fighter like Dylan is technically, even though he's not fought in 4 years, had 2 fights at a really low level. He's still technically a fighter. But Bradley, I've seen, has some fight experience. I've seen him training. And more so, is a physical specimen. You're not talking about, like, you see Dylan sometimes. The guy looks like he has barely been off the couch in a fucking month. Bradley is an athlete. He is not just a weightlifter. People say he's a weightlifter. No, he's an athlete. This man's strength, even for 260, is impressive even for that weight. So while people will say you'll only last 2 seconds, yada, 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 it would be a difficult fight. Just to endure the power and the speed that he would start that fight with, it would be difficult. You'd have to navigate it cleverly. He's a threat in a boxing ring, more so than Dylan Dennis is, by a mile. While, obviously, Logan, the guy's got experience, you would always pick Logan against both of those guys. I really rate Bradley as an athlete and a potential fighter in that space if he was to do it. But as I've said, the tricky thing with Logan is bringing someone to the table with enough clout to actually belong against Logan. And you're probably not going to find the ideal guy. There isn't one. So that's my current thoughts on the KSI and Logan Paul double main event card, the prime card they're calling it. Let me know what fights you think I should be suggesting to go on the undercard to Misfits. Let us know what you think of everything I've said in the video. Hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.